Even in the midst of our deepest, darkest pains, there are going to be bright spots. There are going to be things that are happening in the background of your life that are so big that you can't understand. And I was sent an angel to save me, and she started asking me questions like, Lance, you know you're bigger than the game, right? Lance, you know you're more than the game, right? Lance, you know you're bigger than that, right? So I had to look myself in the mirror, and I had to ask myself a question. Who am I without this jersey? Who are you without the thing that you're clinging to? Who are you when you look into the mirror? Who are you without social media? Who are you without your academics? Who are you without your parents' circumstances? Who are you without all the things that you're clinging to that has nothing to do with your worth and value? And I went on this path that started to change me. I started to rethink the way that I thought about baseball. I started to rethink the way that I thought about life. And I started to say, you know what? If there's a way that I can use baseball to impact people, let's do it. And then from that moment on, when I changed my mindset, everything in my career got worse. I went Tommy John, PRP, loose fragmented bones, stress fracture. I had injury after injury after injury for 3 years. So if you've been going through some pain for a long time, so did I. And I went through my own pain. It's not like yours. But I still had to go through my personal pain. And it still weighed heavy on my heart. And I learned a few different things that I want to tell you guys about today because of that situation, because of the things that happened to me. And I had to get to know myself because I believe that when we're locked up, sometimes when we're locked up, we can be set free. And I had to be set free from the chains of baseball in order to experience and live the life that I was called to live. And same with you. You got to let go of some things that have been holding you back. You got to let go of some chains that are weighing you down. You are so much more than what you do. You are so much more than what's been done to you. You are so much more than what's been said to you. Because here's what happens. We put our worth and our identity in what we do, like me. And then as that goes, you go. Your mindset starts to change based upon your performance. And then here's the other one. We put our identity in what's been done to us. A moment in time, a circumstance, verbal abuse, physical abuse. You've been left. And that starts to become an identity. And then we put our identity in what's been said to us. You're not worth it. You'll never make it. These are things that were said to me. These are things, and here's the thing, sometimes our worst enemy is ourselves. Some of you would not allow, listen to me real close, look at me, all eyes on me. Some of you would not allow yourself, you would not allow somebody to speak to you the way that you speak to yourself. If somebody spoke the way that you do to yourself, you would not be friends with them. How many of you guys have negative thoughts before? Every single day, right? So look at me. We can break this cycle right here today. We can break this chain off right here today. If you look at a chain, its whole purpose is to keep you out. When you go to places that you're not supposed to go to, there's a chain that's holding you back that says you can't enter, no trespassing. Listen, you can break that chain. You can break it. You can change your family's lineage. You can change your legacy. But you got to start telling a different story, my friends. You got to tell a different story. Because if you start to believe the things that you're saying to yourself, you start to think these thoughts. Now listen, when you think something, now you're going to seek it in life. When you seek something, you're going to find it with what you seek. If you're seeking something because the way that you're thinking, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, this isn't working out for me, I'm never gonna make it, things aren't going well, you start to think those thoughts, that's gonna determine the way that you see the world. You're gonna see darkness instead of light. And then when you start to see some things like that, that changes the condition of your heart. And your heart becomes hardened. And then when your heart becomes hardened, that changes the way that you speak. The way that you speak becomes the story that you tell. And that's where we get locked up in our own story. The story that you're telling yourself puts you in a mood. And I started to change the way that I spoke to myself, and that changed my mood. And when my mood changed, that changes my whole personality for the day. But the same is true with negativity. Listen to me, the same is true with the way that you're speaking to yourself. The same is true with those old thoughts that you're clinging on to. They're chains trying to hold you back from your destiny. They're chains trying to hold you back from the NFL. They're chains trying to hold you back from being a marine biologist. Those thoughts that you're having are changing and keeping you from all that you're called to do and the impact you're supposed to have in this life. Y'all with me?
What's going on, family? I got something for you, especially for you. If you want to have more freedom in your life, mentally, have that heart-mind connection, I got something for you. Tap that link. Let's go.